Alright, hello. Welcome back to Davidson's All Natural Gym.
August.
Just thought I'd
Not a good idea.
do a little recording of this, some walnut, in the middle of August. Not a very shady spot, but it is really hot all day long. So I'm just going to show you how to set up this LT35 when you're mobile milling. Just a quick little setup on how to level this mill, and if you watch in here, I've got it's pretty wild how this mill goes up and down while I'm leveling with these jacks. I'm just unhooking the brakes and the emergency brake for the trailer, and then the lights for the trailer. And this is just what I do with them after I'm done. I don't roll them. I don't want to roll that, but take a bungee cord, wrap it around it twice, and stuff it right under the control levers. There's a plate that goes across below the control levers, and I just put one end of the bungee cord on that plate, and the other end on the other end of the plate, and then the wires hang up underneath there. That way you're not tripping on them all day. Safety chains. I imagine everybody hooks them right there. It's just kind of a logical place to hook them. Everybody complains about these standard jack stands on the LT35, and this is the only problem I have with them right here. This very first one that comes off, I really wish that was a turn handle so that I didn't have to lift this up. It's not heavy when the head is all the way back there at the back of the sawmill. It's not like it's real heavy, but it's heavy enough that I don't want to be doing it all the time. So if I had a choice, this one right there would be one you can jack up. But the trailer comes up the ball or the sawmill comes up the ball pretty good. And then all I do is, from there, I just want to see if I think I can eyeball this and get it level enough. And from here, hindsight being 20/20, I wish I would have moved a little bit, but from what I'm looking at right there, I think I can get this mill level at that spot right there. And the first thing I always do is take off these. First thing I try to do is take off these wheel covers, because I forget to take those off all the time, and then I put the log arms down on one, and then the head comes flying across the other one.
Remember the key. That's a good thing.
Here's a true moment when you get out the key and you remember, oh, I remembered the key to the sawmill. That's always a good thing. I'm going to try and put the volume in here when I start this up. This is one of the hardest starts that this WoodMizer's ever done, and I only went like 20 miles. So I don't know what it was. I don't know if the gas got up in there and flooded it out. I don't know if it was not getting enough gas. I don't know what the deal was when I started this engine. That's the pad for the air filter that I'm cleaning out.
Not clean out my air filter.
I kind of wanted to see if it'd get cleaned out down the road, going down the road. A bunch of air go in there and clean it out, but it didn't work. Still got to clean out the air filter. Check the oil, clean out the air filter, and we're ready to start it up, I think. But I just want to show how much these jacks can move this sawmill if you do it correctly. It was kind of unbelievable watching this video, even to me, when I watched this video a few times and did a fast forward and then a back, dragging the mouse back and forth across this video, seeing how much that mill actually moved when it was with these jacks. I didn't think it would move that much. So here's the first you put down these first two jacks while the head's down at the other end. And here I'm just seeing if they'll come up and get tighter if they're popped in at that location. And they're not popped in yet, and I can't get them to come up and go tight enough. So now I drop that jack, and then I drop the back jack. Just at this point, all you're doing is dropping them. You're not trying to raise them up or anything, especially with that head back there. You're not trying to raise those two. But you're just dropping them on the ground to see if they, I've had them fall in a hole, and the whole jack can just fall right out of the sawmill. So I'm just making sure that you have enough to get it halfway level. Up here, I hook those straps that are on there, that are to hold that jug in. I hook those straps around the line for the drip, so they just get kind of wrapped around that line, so that line doesn't flop while you're running down the road. And then I'm still using the original WoodMizer jug that came on this. I have a backup jug, or two backup jugs, I think, that I can use. But right now I'm just using this original jug, and it's full of diesel. And then I just drip it on there. One drip every 2 seconds or so. This walnut was just cut yesterday, or day before. Nope, yesterday. So I'm not going to need a whole bunch of diesel, but you just put enough in there to keep that blade cool. And then I'm not running that jug right there. Will last me 6 months, maybe longer, and I'll never have to fill that jug up. Has a little screw top there to get air, and I just unloosen that screw top so to get air. So I got a little air. Here's the startup. Hopefully I got a long enough of a deal there, or hopefully I can put that the sound from this video back in that to show you how that started up. It just seemed like a rough start to me. I mean, it did fine. I choked it, gave it 2 little pumps of gas, and away it went. It just seemed like a little hard start there. Look how the mill shakes. All right, hang on. Okay, I left that in there because you see how that mill was shaking when you move the head back. The mill is not stationary at all. It's not set up at all, supported at all. So the whole mill just shakes when you run the head back. There's the last stanchion going down.
Never get another one out of it.
I tried it. You can see the mill come up just a little bit there. I got that one set. I think it's going to hold, but hindsight being 20/20, it doesn't hold. It sinks right into the ground. Lifted the mill up a little bit there, and I'll show you what that mill does going forward and backwards and up and down, and it moves quite a bit. But now you're just eyeballing it, making sure that you can get
Block that one and block that one.
the log loading. I'm trying to get the log loading side high enough where when I put the logs on there, they won't just roll straight off the mill, and I don't have to worry about them rolling off on somebody. So I'm trying to raise up that side that I'm on. I'm trying to raise up higher than the rail side. this jack here, I'm trying to get it set, and it clicks in, but it still doesn't. That's not where it's going to stay. And now I'm just checking these jacks to see if they're locked in on me or if they're open on me. Carrying around that little bar forever. So it's back to the truck. Get some locks. I like to carry a couple that are 3-inch thick, some that are 1-inch thick, and some that are 2-inch thick blocks. I think this is a 2-inch one here I'm putting down there. And you'll see that. I get that back to come up a little bit. And this video, as I'm looking at it, as I was looking at it, watching it earlier, it looks like the back of the mill there is up and the front of the mill is up, and it looks like there's a dip in the middle of that mill. Of course there isn't, it's just the camera making it look that way, but the distortion of the camera makes it look like the middle right there is down, you know, and the rest of this is up. It's not. So this jack's not tight either. So I'm trying to decide whether I'm going to put a 1-inch or 2-inch under there. And it's still leaning to where the log will roll off right now. So I'm trying to raise that up too. And so you're just walking around with all these jacks, and what you're really trying to decide here is whether the ground's going to hold, whether you're going to need a 1-inch board under there or a 2-inch board. So you're just feeling these jacks to see how tight they are, where the hole is, and what's going on with that.
Hey, we're tight. We're not tight.
I don't put the log loading arms down till almost last. I just leave those up, even if I have to run the head up. See there, that's where I want the mill, where I had it up to. I can't get it up that high with that jack. So I'm going to try a 2-inch board here. And all you have to do is make sure that the top of that jack is lower than your bed rails. And you're good. So I put a 2-inch under there. I still can't get that to lock in at where I want it. I can get it to lock in, but not, and I can get it tight, but not where I want it. So I go back and get a 1-inch board. And that's the, or maybe that's a 2-inch, whatever. I don't know which one was 1 and 2, but you got, yeah, that one was 1-inch. Now I'm going to try a 2-inch. Just making sure that will come down lower than the deck. So now I put a 2-inch in there, see if I can raise it up enough to lock it in. There it is. But yet, still have it tight. Okay. Here's the fast forwarding of it, and we're just trying to watch how the mill goes, the movement of the mill. I forwarded it and reversed it and forwarded it, and then I reversed it just to see how the mill moves. Oh, don't forget that little thing. Oh, yeah, you will cut that off with your blade. It just holds the head when you're on mobile. That's what you rest your head on. But you can go back and look at that video and play that again where it moves up and down and up and down. I just fast forwarded it. It's like 4,000 speed or something. And it just shows the movement of that mill. You know how much it's actually moving. You don't think you're moving it while you're doing this. You don't think you're moving it that much with those jacks, but you really are. I see people online, you know, I can't get my mill level with these jacks, and they're such a pain in the butt, and it won't move the mill, and it won't level it, and it won't. But if you know how to work these jacks, they're really not that much of a pain in the butt. Bring you every mobile job that you do, bring you some 1-inch boards, some 2-inch boards. I even have a couple 3-inch boards, and bring you a shovel. You may have to. I've been in places where I had to dig out a little bit of dirt at one end, under 1 or 2 jacks, and then put a board under there. I've been in places where the ground was really, really soft. The ground's nice and hard here, and I think I do get away with one of these jacks that's not even on the ground. Oh, the one right under the head is not even, never gets a board under it. All the rest of them get boards under them. But the ground is pretty hard here. It's just a matter of, it's a farm, and you get big tractors driving on it, and you got ruts and dips, and it's not somebody's lawn. You know, this is just a farmyard, so that it's not a totally level ground. It looks level, but there's big dips in it, or big holes, or big where the tractor got stuck, or something like that. It's pretty hard ground, but it's just not totally level.
Alright.
So I think I've got all the jacks. I think I have to get that pole back out again. But I think I've got all the jacks here now level. And I'm going to drop those arms, the loading arms, which is you just run that hydraulic lever backwards and those arms will drop. You'll get onto that. That's no big deal. And then you just push onto this with your chest, push on the arms with your chest and pull up the log turner, and then the little last hook comes off and you lower that down. And your arms are dropped. Your loading arms are dropped. And now you lower them and you run your hydraulics just the same way that you normally would, down to down. But when you're dropping the legs, down is up, and up is down. It's kind of weird. It makes sense, but it's kind of weird at first. And so now I'm just, whenever I go to a mobile milling job, I'm 99.9% sure that every one of these hydraulics is going to work. There's no reason why they wouldn't, but if you ripped a hose off on the road on the way here, you could be in trouble. So I just double check all the hydraulics, make sure every hydraulic's working.
Tire's almost up the ground.
And now that tire is setting
Almost.
right in a hole, and it's almost spinning. You can almost spin that tire. It's just not on the ground very much. And I thought about putting a board under that tire too, but I'm not. And that's it for. And I was messing around there, but it doesn't take you 15 minutes to set up that mill. 20 minutes to set up that mill. Once you get onto it, it's not hard. Those jacks are not hard. And here we're just gonna quickly unload the truck. I brought him some. That strap's holding down a bunch of stickers that I brought. Oh, we're in windmill country. I don't know how many how many square miles of these things they got out there, but it's everywhere. All the way around them, 360 degrees around this farm is windmills. Everywhere, all day long, windmills. So those things are blowing the whole day in the background. And the dust is blowing right in my face on this all day. There's a scoop shovel for sawdust in case they need it. I'm not going to use it. I'll do if the sawdust gets that deep, I'll just kick it to the side. But in case they wanted to scoop it, I brought it. I brought, I think 3 cant hooks. 3 cant hooks and a little one. And some boards. You got it. So there's a short cant hook and another long cant hook. So that's 2, and there's a 3rd long cant hook. But I think one of the most important things you forget to bring is right there, those boards. They're They're not even 2x4s or 2x3s or 2x6s. They're not anything. They're just boards. They're pry bars. They're used to, you can block up a small log. You can move a small log. You can move a large log on the mill. You can put it on your dogs and use it to hold a couple boards when you're edging. You only got 2 boards left to edge. You can put that board down, and if you cut it, you cut it, and if you don't, great. I brought the chainsaw. I knew I was going to have to do a lot of chainsaw work on these logs, but I don't really want to do any chainsaw work until the customer gets here and he's eating breakfast, because he didn't think I was going to be here this early, but a little miscommunication there. But I want to make sure this blade is, I'm 90% sure that this blade's sharp, but I just wanted to cut off a couple little limbs and make sure this blade was sharp before because I have time to change the chainsaw blade. But that's just how you set up your mill, and the real amazing part of that is going back and watching that fast forward and reverse and fast forward and reverse and seeing just how much that mill actually moves, to get it level with just those little jack stands. You're just moving it with, when the head's down here at the front by the truck, those far 3 jacks will move really easy. And then if you want to move these front jacks here, you move the sawmill head to the back of the mill, to the other end of the mill, and these 3 jacks will move really easy down here. Don't try to, that jack right under the head, right there, don't try to lift that up while the head's right over it. That's all your weight. Put your weight at the other end of the mill on the other side of the axles, and then move these jacks. Right here I'm just running the head forward and backwards. Make sure that, look how stable the mill is. The mill doesn't move at all. All the jacks are tight. And I'm just run the head to the end, make sure I'm good. And then I'll put all the weight on the other end of the mill to make sure that these front 3 jacks are tight. I should come back and get them, make sure they're down and tight and everything's good. Up here. Tight. Oops, put the little hitch on your trailer ball down too, because you'll hit that with your, well, not really your shins, but you'll catch something on that that you don't want to catch on that. And then we'll run the head to the back to the front here. And I'll put it on, and I'll let you hear some of this conversation. But now we just go over, I basically know what he wants out of all these logs. I'm just going to make sure on what he exactly wants cut. Like I said, we've been over this all day yesterday. We went over this.
Yeah, we'll roll it. These things work wonders.
And I've been talking to this guy for a couple weeks now, and so I pretty much know what he wants out of this, what number he wants.
So what I'm going to do is cut this off, cut this off, cut this off.
Out of these, he wants
like this.
as clean a lumber as he can get out of them.
And I'll probably cut this
But we're just going over a final few cuts. I don't want to, you always hate to cut somebody's big walnut log without them knowing.
I want this knot for live edge.
You want it cut 8.5 feet, or you want it cut 8 feet 7 inches, or you want it cut 9 feet. Those last 2 inches, can be real important to somebody if they're getting this walnut log. An inch can matter. Size matters, no matter what they tell you. But so we're just going over this, and there's some live edge options in here that I wanted to keep open for him and make sure he didn't want this live edge. And
okay, well, that's fine too.
the log's a lot different when you see it on the ground versus when it's in a tree.
No tools, just push it by hand. No tools allowed.
So we're just getting all the tools to the side.
So you
Then I'll
guys,
explain to him where,
didn't have enough to do last night?
after we're set up and everything
Rake the driveway?
is good to go. He has both those guys have a general idea of where we're going to stack lumber, a general idea where we're going to stack the offcuts, general idea where the sawdust is going to go, a general idea to stay out of the way of the blade. They've all got the general safety briefing, but now that it's set up, we're just making sure that he's going to put that tractor right there in the spot that we need it in, and he's going to put the trailer. The trailer's over there behind the bin right now, but he's going to put the trailer in the right spot so that they can unload these easily. So we get everything set up and got a decent little safety briefing so that everybody knows that
I have some.
sawdust is going to be flying, chips are going to be flying off that debarker. The blade sharp. Here I had a heck of a time with this, getting the blade tight. So when I'm running down the road, I leave the blade on it. I don't know if everybody does that or not, but I leave the blade, I loosen it up really loose, and then I engage it, put the bar up. Of course, running down the road, the bar's got to be up. And then I leave the belt, or the blade, loose, but tight enough that it won't spin the wheels on the bearing.
We want to.
But,
I got these for you.
and then I just tighten it up when I get back here. And I just had a heck of a time. I tightened that thing up 3 or 4 times, I think, to get it right. And then here we're just going over a few pulls the boards over there, put them on the trailer, and these boards go over here to go on the trailer. And we're just making sure that everything's right and everybody understands, what we're doing here. And like I said, we've been over this before. It's just, you can see it when the sawmill gets there and it gets set up, and you can get everybody on the same page and make sure the boards are coming off the right way. Make sure the truck's out of the way. And we'll get sawmilling. Geez, I got a bunch of stuff in the back of that truck, don't I? That I didn't go over. So he's unloaded they unloaded the stickers out of the back of that truck, and I still got blades in there, I got extra gas in there, I got my the blower in there, in case I need to clean out the mill, which I didn't. I got toolboxes in there, extra blades, all kinds of extra stuff in there that you don't see, extra chainsaw stuff.
8.5?
Sure.
Sure.
And
So there's 9. There's 8. So 8.5.
so that was the setup in the mill, and
Perfect.
now we're going to get into the milling. I'm going to make that another video or 2.
Okay.
We got some chainsaw work to do here before we get started.
Oh, no, you're slicing this way.
But
Right.
my time's starting right in here.
I mean,
And I'll start with sawmilling. Stay tuned for when we cut
That's
this
gonna be a
up.
lot
I
of
didn't get
effort
any
to turn
shots
on in that little
of
car.
finished lumber. I'll let you know that right now, but I got a lot of milling to do here.
Wow, how'd you know to lay those exactly there, huh?
yep, I got it. I figured I wouldn't use it. As long as we're using the trailer for the good boards.